Hello and welcome to another episode of UC Trends, where we talk about the communication trends that matter to you. Today I'm joined by Mike Stowe, Senior Director of Developer Marketing at RingCentral. Welcome to the show, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing well, David. Thank you for having me today.
Fantastic. So, Mike, today we're going to be talking about CPaaS, of course, and how businesses can really leverage this technology to get the most out of their communications. But before we get into that conversation, do you want to give us a quick introduction to yourself and the business?
Yeah, absolutely. As David mentioned, my name is Mike Stowe. I'm the Director of Developer Marketing at RingCentral, where my entire focus is really in helping our customers understand how they can use cloud and communication APIs to take really the same practices of digital transformation to their business and improve their employee and customer experiences using RingCentral's leading cloud solutions for message, video, phone, contact center, events, and AI.
So, Mike, tell me, what's your current assessment of the CPaaS landscape? We've had a lot of change over the last 2-3 years. We've come through pandemic, then we've seen that explosion of hybrid work. But where are we now with CPaaS? What are those big advantages you're seeing really businesses take home from this technology?
Yeah, David, that's a great question. It's interesting because CPaaS has been around for quite a while, and it just kind of became that thing. And then when the pandemic happened, usage of CPaaS exploded. All of a sudden it was, okay, customers aren't coming to our store. We can't reach out to them in person. We need to find a way to communicate with them at their convenience. That means I can't just give them a call. And if I send them an email, they may never see it. Can I bring in other methods, whether it's creating video interactions, whether it's SMS, whether it's social media, other tools where you can reach out to them more proactively to stay in touch, the way that they prefer. And I think that's exciting because, I read somewhere that it, takes 40 days to create a habit. Well, we've had this for, 2 years when we had the pandemic. Everyone has used these communications. They're demanding more of these communications. And it's actually more efficient for the business. Instead of having to have someone pick up the phone and call them, or have a brick and mortar where someone comes in and then you have the interaction. Again, if they come to you, you're not able to proactively communicate with them and keep them, up to date on terms of changes. If there might be potential issues on the horizon with their services, billing failure, quick, easy way to reach out to them, but also, delivery updates, notifications, improving security, and proactive sales reach outs. Hey, we're having a sale this week. It's 50% off. Would you be interested? So it's definitely changed the way that customers are communicating or expecting their companies to communicate with them.
Well, let's hone in on that customer sort of interaction piece specifically. How is CPaaS in really amplifying those interactions and really driving that customer experience that, of course, every business is kind of looking for right now to differentiate themselves?
Absolutely. So I think that's the first thing is that, again, customers are looking for these experiences. And so if your business is not offering, this type of convenience to them, I promise you your competitor will be, and they'll go to your competitor because they're going to get the responses, the interactions that they're looking for. More and more customers are looking for real-time interactions. In fact, one study stated that 67% of millennials would actually have a better perspective of business if they offered SMS as a communication channel, regardless if they used it or not. So just having those channels available to them changes their perspective of the company. And again, it ranges across the system. If you're in insurance, being proactive, think of an insurance claim and the typical challenges versus being able to talk to an automated chatbot, get my claim started, getting real-time notifications on the status of my claim. Your rental car is ready, go pick it up. Airlines being able to be notified of, your flight is delayed or your flight has changed. And of course, upgrade options, which they like to send as well. But also, again, sales notifications, the ability to reach customers and alert them of potential issues or changes to allow them to be proactive versus having them react afterwards and calling your company upset. So again, it ranges from notifications to creating more interactive customer experiences to improving employee experiences with employee notifications, employee solutions, all the way to real-time communications where you can do interactive video experiences. This means I no longer have to call call a repairman to come to my house and look at my refrigerator. I can pick up the phone call. We can do a video conference, and then they'll go, okay, this is what we think the issue is. Here's how you can fix it, or we'll get the part ordered, and the repairman will be out on Thursday to fix it. Versus he shows up and says, hey, I'll be back next week, and the old joke is your refrigerator running. So it's created a lot of new expectations, a lot of new experiences. It's also created some challenges, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, let's maybe talk about some of those challenges. A lot of customers today might be watching this thinking, how do I adopt CPaaS? What are those big challenges and hurdles for me to overcome? What are they, and what kind of tips and hints would you give people who are looking to adopt this technology and really go on their sort of CPaaS journey, if you like?
Mm-hmm. So it's like any aspect of the digital transformation journey. You want to take your time to understand what you're trying to accomplish, and watch out for the gotchas. In terms of implementation, there's numerous gotchas that you can get with CPaaS. The first is there's this idea that we're just going to bring CPaaS in, it will stand by itself, and we'll use it for just these one set of transaction communications. The problem is that once you implement CPaaS, all of a sudden that communication solution needs to talk to your other communication solutions. And so if you are thinking of, hey, we got our corporate office phones, we'll call that UCaaS. We have our support center, contact center, and we have our CPaaS solution. Now somehow all three of those need to work together. What you don't want to have happen is you don't want to create customer experiences where I call into your office complaining and saying, man, your service is terrible. I can't stand you guys. Like, you guys need to solve this. And 2 minutes later, I get an SMS saying, would you like to upgrade? That's not going to make a good experience. That's actually make me feel like you're not listening to me. At the same time, you don't want to have these channels where you send communications across social media or SMS or email. And I respond, and then when I call them for support because I've been talking to them and I talk to someone else, there's this disparate communication. There's a silo where they don't know what's happening. So that's first, is what experience are you creating when you bring this in, and how do you make it work seamlessly with the other solutions? The second is, what are the costs associated with CPaaS? Now, there will be some really great efficiencies, and you can save a lot of money from traditional manual reach out costs or manual communication costs. But are you paying for redundant systems? If I have a UCaaS solution, I'm already paying for phone capabilities. I'm already paying for SMS. Do I really want to go buy a different service and have to pay for phone capabilities and SMS again? Or even worse, if that CPaaS solution connects them to my UCaaS solution, pay the CPaaS trunk fee, the CPaaS per minute fee, the CPaaS forwarding costs. So I'm basically paying for that phone call twice. So how can we avoid those costs along with the technical debt? The last thing is, again, every time we say we implement one service, we're going to implement one-to-one. That's not the way it works, in the real world. You're implementing one service to, if you're lucky, just 70 services. And that means the second that one service changes, you're now changing 70 services. So again, identifying how can you come in and eliminate the data silos? How can you create a better customer experience? How can you offset the costs? And also, how can you future-proof your company in terms of choosing a provider so you can have one CPaaS provider that's going to evolve with you, and preferably one provider that's going to meet your UCaaS contact center and CPaaS needs, versus having to choose multiple providers and try to cobble them together, what we call spaghetti code, and really causing business risk and technical debt that's going to cost you a lot more in the long term.
Let's talk about some of that business risk. I mean, is security an issue, and if so, how should people be thinking about security? What are those big considerations around CPaaS and the security of that tech?
Absolutely. So depending on your industry, you run into different compliance requirements. For example, if you look at FinServ, the SEC recently came down and said, look, you cannot be allowing financial advisors to send SMS on their personal phones. This all needs to be tracked and logged. But this gets into the next question, which is SMS a secure medium? And the answer is absolutely not. No matter what a company does to secure it on their end, the second it goes over the carrier's network, it's going across an open network. And it can also be seen on individuals' phones if they don't lock their screens. So the question really becomes, one, how is the company managing and securing your data? How are they helping you ensure that your PHI is protected? how they make sure that the communications are not being seen by people outside of who they should be seen, but how they advise you on what's the right communication method to use for your industry. How can they help you ensure that you're following the latest regulations, latest guides, while also following the best security practices? And can they provide a mission critical infrastructure where if you need communications to go out today, right now at this minute, that they're able to provide those communications? Uptime and global scale is absolutely huge on top of security.
So, Mike, we're coming towards the end of the conversation, but I want to leave our audience with a bit of a future-looking statement from yourself, and what you're seeing down the line, and what is coming for CPaaS looking into next year. What are you thinking about? What kind of trends do you think are going to be most significant? And ultimately, what should our viewers all be thinking about when it comes to CPaaS in 2024?
Well, at RingCentral, we're really trying to solve the issues that you and I just talked about. We want to open up the efficiencies for our customers, but we don't want to force the redundant costs, the multiple systems, the disparate data silos, the regulatory risk of having to manage different systems and make sure they're all up to date with the rules. So really, from my perspective, what I see happening is I see after this huge explosion of CPaaS and companies adopting this to really meet the needs that were caused by the pandemic. We went to this strange, kind of macroeconomic climate where now businesses are having to cut costs and consolidate. How do we eliminate some of the risk that was created? How do we, drive cost savings? And how do we create more efficient, or what we call smart, efficient, and trusted customer and employee experiences? And I think that's what you're going to see is companies looking for those types of solutions where can I use one provider that's going to seamlessly integrate my UCaaS, my contact center, and my CPaaS? Do I have a provider that's going to bring in the tools I need, but also give me the ability to evolve while also incorporating artificial intelligence? And that's kind of what we're trying to do with RingCentral Solutions, create a solution that's smart, efficient, and trusted. Smart in that you do get a 360-degree view of all your customer communications. We get rid of those data silos. Of course, bringing in artificial intelligence to allow for one, just we talk about generative AI with ChatGPT, but AI to detect patterns in terms of are there potential issues with products? Do you have a customer who's becoming more aggravated or unhappy? Can we change the experience versus them calling in for the 10th time to customer support, where they're getting sent over to a specialist on the second or third call based on their sentiment? Efficient, giving companies the opportunity to build only what they want to build instead of having to build the entire system, building just the components that you need to customize while taking advantage of the pre-built infrastructure that's already there. That means if you want to send an SMS and have them be able to send an SMS back and talk to a real person or call that number back, and talk to a real person, only having to write the code to send the SMS message, but being able to use RingCentral's admin to create all those rules so they can call back that number without additional programming, additional maintenance. It also means opening it up to anyone in terms of skill so they can create efficient workflows for the business. That means eliminating the need to have a developer every time you want to make a change or implement a workflow, but allowing someone in marketing or sales or HR to create custom workflows that they need to interact with their customers. And we do that using no code, low code, pro code, over 300 pre-built integrations, and of course drag and drop editors to connect over to 5,000 different integrations where you don't have to write any code at all. And then trusted. We mentioned the regulatory compliance, be able to set that one place, but be able to use your trusted business number to communicate with customers. There's so much out there where people get messages from, again, traditional provider, you go buy a number, it's a random number, you communicate with them. Is this really the company communicating with me? I can't call that number back because it's an SMS only number and they didn't write the code to do the voice. They want to pay the additional fees. Again, using your trusted business numbers where instead I know it's your business contacting me. I immediately recognize the number. And again, if I need to call that number to talk to a real person, I can do that. So I think that's where the systems, where CPaaS is going to go is vendor consolidation and trying to reduce the number of systems. Number two, working on cost savings. But number three, really, can we create a better customer and employee experience? Can we do more with CPaaS and create, again, eliminate these data silos that put our customers through the ringer and, force a lot of the frustration that we see today?
Mike, that was great. I really enjoyed your insights there, Mike. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts.
David, thank you for having me here, and thank you for the great work that you and the entire team does in pushing communications forward. And like I said, the last thing I will say is CPaaS isn't going anywhere. I think you're going to see more and more CPaaS. I think, again, we talk about everything coming together. I think it's just a matter of time before CPaaS becomes just a main part of the programmatic stack or the communication stack. And we're not going to talk about CPaaS. We're going to talk about communications as a whole.
Great. So, thank you for watching. You've been watching me, David Dungay, on UC Today. If you want to catch up with our other UC Trends sessions, you can do so by using the UC Trends 24 hashtag on social media. That's it from me. See you next time.